Hello and welcome everyone for our English session. I know that many of you are not familiar with me. I am Pradeep Mekwan from Nadia. I've been into this teaching field since last 15 years or so. Since today is my first lecture and you are also not familiar with me, but I promise that slowly and gradually we'll come to know about each other. My priority is making your subject quite easy. You know, English at times people treat that it is very easy. For some people, it will be very difficult, but it is nothing of that sort. Anything can become easy and difficult based on the man he looks at the perspective. His way of thinking. Anyway, we are not here for some big lecture or some teaching or so. I'm not here for making you bored, but I will directly take you to the topic. I mean, you have already learnt about the first poem, My Mother at 66, and two lessons have also been completed. So we shall start today with second poem, that an elementary school classroom in a slum. So let us start with this poem and hope that whatever time we shall spend together, you'll be watching this video. You watch it quite sincerely and understand each and everything in detail. An elementary school classroom in a slum by Stephen Spander. An elementary, basic school, primary school. In that context, you can take an elementary school classroom in a slum by Stephen Spander. You know, at times think about yourself that you are gifted with wonderful parents. You are gifted with most of the facilities, but you look at the children who are wandering by the railway station. They do not have any facility. Think about the beggar children. They are begging in the street and compare your life with their life and see the blessings that you got in your life. Means you got wonderful parents. They are looking after your needs. They are providing you everything from food, clothing to the best education. They have chosen the best school for you. Such a wonderful classroom you have, not a filthy atmosphere, but a wonderful warm atmosphere you find in a classroom. But have you ever thought about a school in a slum area? The word slum itself suggests that slum will be very, very dirty. You may not like to plant your leg there. Such a filthy state of condition you'll find in slum. So here, the poet Stephen Spander picturizes those children who are living their life in very pathetic condition. Uh, when you have a look at them, you will feel that life can be such ugly for people like this, and still they are living their life in that pathetic condition. In a sense, we feel that we are far more gifted than these people. So, we are going to see or discuss these poor children's life, poor students' life, in fact, and see what the poet has picturized in the poem, An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum. See, till standard, you are not worried about whatever information was given about poet. But let me tell you, in 11th and 12th, sometimes question, maybe MCQ type, maybe short question may turn up. Not not so much thing for the commerce, but those I mean science students especially, they will be facing MCQs. Some MCQs may turn up from this one, but since you are the student of commerce, but it is better that we know detailed thing about author. As you can see on your screen, Stephen Spender, 1909 to 1995. He was an English poet and an essayist. He left University College, Oxford, without taking a degree and went to Berlin in 1930. Here you have to take a note of this one, second line. He left University College, Oxford, without taking a degree and went to Berlin in 1930. Spender took a keen interest in politics and declared himself to be a socialist and pacifist. Socialist word you might know. In fact, everybody knows because you are a student of 11th, 12th standard. So this is an easy word, socialist. But pacifist, some of you may not know. Those who favor peace, who believes in peace, that is, they are called pacifist. In Gujarati, we say Santi, Santi Varta. So those type of people who believes in peace and harmony, they are considered to be pacifists. That is the term for them. So one of the unique quality of this poet Stephen Spender was that he was a pacifist. Books by Spender include poems of dedication, the age of being, the creative element, and the struggle of the modern and an autobiography, world within world. An elementary school classroom in a slum, he has concentrated on themes of social injustice and class inequality. Dear student, this is the nuisance prevailing in our society, and that nuisance has spoiled the life of millions of people till now, ever since the beginning of the world for mankind. Social injustice and class inequalities. This theme, the poet has touched the theme. So many poet has not even bothered to write about it. Social injustice and class inequalities. We live in such a society where we find that rich are growing richer, poor are becoming poorer. Some people do not have a food to eat. They can't meet their meal twice a day, not a single time in a day. But there are also people, rich people, aristocratic people who are living luxurious life, not bothering anything. They are wasting everything, and such inequalities we have. So we also here in India face the same condition. We are in the middle class family, so we are living such a life where at least there is a comfort. I mean, we are not so unhappy, not so happy in the middle somewhat. But there are people who are in deformed shape. They are born crippled, born handicapped, born blind, deformed shape. There are people who are extremely poor, and they are living their life in pathetic condition. The government don't bother about them. We also busy with our life, don't do anything for them. But something should be done for such a low class people. People, these people are deprived of so many things, and such condition is also picturized in this poem, an elementary school classroom in a slum. We are going to study about children, very poor children, extremely poor condition, pathetic condition. They do not have a proper clothes to wear even. These children, uh, they have hardly any facility in their life. They have no formal education, and those who have the benefits of getting education from the government school, but still uh, the schools are also very pathetic. They are just going for the school for the sake of going only, since their parents may be deliberately sending them, but there is no inspiration from inside to go and attend the school because they don't find anything interesting there. And teachers also there might not have taken keen interest to teach this mass of children. Let us have some more detailed things about Stephen Spender. Stephen Harold Spender, full name. Birth, we already discussed, was an English poet, novelist, and essayist whose work concentrated on the theme of social injustice and class struggle. He was appointed Poet Laureate Consultant in Poetry to the United States Library of Congress in 1965. Things to remember. Till now, whatever we have discussed, it will become very boring if you don't means memorize certain things, certain points to look after. See, we are already spending our time. So whatever time we spend, it is better that we spend our time in a meaningful way. So when you are watching this video, I want you to remember certain things about Stephen Spender, about this poem's theme also. First thing that we should know that Stephen Spender left University College, Oxford, without taking a degree and went to Berlin in 1930. Another thing to look at, pacifist means one who believes in spreading messages of peace and harmony. Next thing, in this poem, the poet has concentrated on the topic of social injustice and class inequalities. Before we move on with the poem, because this poem is long, it contains many difficult words. So before we jump directly for the recitations of the poem and appreciations of the poem, there are certain words which you are supposed to know. If you don't know the meaning, then appreciation of the poem will become quite difficult. So let us see the words which we are likely to face in the poem. You'll face the word gusty. Gusty means blowing very strongly. Weeds, useless wild plants. Outside of our house or in the garden, some unwanted weeds will be there. So those unwanted weeds, they are unwanted grass. Torn round. Torn round means scattered around in disorder. In a tear condition. Torn is a past form of tear. Torn round means scatter here and there in a disorder manner. You are going to face this word in the context of the children's hairstyle. Hairstyle of children in slum school. Means you might have seen the poor children who are begging, wandering by the roadside in a footpath. They do not take bath regularly, and as a result their hair are also not combed properly. Since hair are not combed properly, you will feel that their hair may be here and there. So this expression is used for hairstyle. Way down. Way down means bend down due to the depression and burden of poverty. Paper seaming. Another expression you are going to find in the context of the boy. The boy looked like a paper seaming. Paper seaming means looking lean and thin. Stunted. Stunted means underdeveloped. Underdeveloped. Hair. Hair means successor. You might already know this one. Reciting means repeating here in this poem. Nahl. G is given, but G will remain a little silent. So Nahl means naughty, twisted, bent. In that context, Nahl. Unnoted, that you already know, not noticed. Other than this room of the school, that expressions you will find it when we will go for the reading of the poem. So that is just used for the taste purpose, but here sore means unpleasant. Tyrolese Valley. Tyrolese Valley, a valley in Tyrol in Austria. There is a valley in Austria that is called Tyrolese Valley. Sealed in means closed in. Then you have another word, lead sky. Bluish gray sky representing sorrow and hopelessness. I mean, if you have seen the slum area, in slum area you will find that houses do not have a proper construction, and the roof may not be there. Even if the roof might be there, it may be open, not in a proper condition, and uh, such a pathetic condition is described, and for that descriptions of that pathetic condition, lead sky is used. Cape. Cape means a part of land projecting into a sea. Civilized dome. Civilized dome means institutions of a civilized world or society. Belt means having bells. Open-handed map. Map hung on classroom walls representing important, rich, and civilized people. We shall definitely see about these words when we will go in and discuss this poem in detail when we appreciate it, but it is very important that we should have at least glance at these words, so when we go for the recitations of the poem, the understanding will become quite easy for us. So let us start with the first stanza of the poem. Far, far from gusty waves, these children faces, like rootless weaves, the hair torn round their pallor. Let me tell you that I am not trying to frighten you, but you need to focus more on this poem. Rest other poems are going to be quite easy. Means compared to the other poems, this poem, because of its length and because of its meaning, certain words expression, it becomes difficult to appreciate. So pay proper attention when we are going to discuss about this one. Far, far from gusty waves, these children faces. Gusty, energetic, very fast. In that aspect, far, far from gusty waves, these children faces. Gusty waves indirectly represents the lives of rich people, luxury of richness. These children, I mean children who are studying in the elementary school, they are living their life in very pathetic condition. They are as if they are deprived from the luxury of the world. They do not have any facility. They are put into the corner of their dirty room. Right now there is a picture of classroom, but even at home there is a single room. In that single room they have to manage with their life. So in that aspect the poet says that far from gusty waves these children faces like rootless weeds. Let us read it again. Like rootless weeds. Have you ever tried to uproot the grass? We can uproot the grass very easily because roots are not gone deeply into the heart of the earth. Uh, since roots are not so deep into the earth, we can pluck out the grass very easily. Now compare these children's lives also. Their parents may be very uh, poor. Since they are very poor, they may not provide a very good facilities to them. Some of the children living in the slum area, they have already lost their parents, means they have become orphan. And those who have parents, but their parents are not strong enough to give them good life, so such a condition is there. So like rootless weeds, means these children do not have a strong foundation. They do not have a strong foundation, and as a result they are compared as rootless weeds. The hair torn round their pallor. Their hair torn round their pallor. Pallor means here very dull face. Very dull face. Pallor means very dull face. Uh, their hair, as it was said earlier, their hair are not combed properly. Generally, what happens when we come to our school, our uniforms are checked. Not only our uniforms are checked, but teacher will check the hairstyle also. If hairstyle is not suitable, I mean, the teacher will ask you to cut the hair properly. Such a rules and regulations you have to follow here. But this is the government school and elementary school classroom in a slum where teacher may be teaching, no doubt, but they do not concentrate on the pathetic condition. They do not impose the rules and regulation of the school. So that is why, since their hair are not combed properly, such expression is used, the hair torn round their pallor. The tall girl with her way down head. There is one tall girl. She was feeling heavy there. She might be feeling sick. Sometimes, when we feel sick, what we do, we take the permission of a teacher and ask the teacher to let us put our head down so that we can take rest. Here also, there is a tall girl, and that tall girl wants to take a rest because she was not feeling well. And as a result, this expression, the tall girl with her way down her head. There is another boy, the paper seeming boy with red eyes. There is a boy who is compared as the paper seeming boy. Paper means very thin boy, very thin boy. You know, you may be healthy and wealthy because your parents are providing you nutritious food. But these children who are studying here, they do not get proper meal. And so since they do not get proper meal for eating, and as a result they have grown very thin. That's why the expression the paper swimming boy is used with rat's eyes. Every time, whenever our parents offer us food, at that time we always leave something without eating into the dish. Something there will be some leftover. But these children hardly they get anything to eat. He was compared as if he was having a rat's eyes. A rat is very keen on its food. Similarly, this boy seemed very hungry, and as a result, his hunger is shown by the rat's eyes expression. The stunted, unlucky hair of twisted bones. Stunted, not straight, but turned in a deformed condition, in a deformed shape. In that aspect, we can say stunted, uh, something in a deformed shape. The stunted, unlucky hair of twisted bones, reciting father's snarl disease. The children, some of the children who were sitting there, they have twisted bones. Means they might have got some disease in the heredity. In slum area, some children do not have eyes, some children do not have legs, some of them do not have hands, and some are in very pathetic condition. Their body limbs are not proper. Something or some sort of disease they are suffering from. And that's why here the poet says that stunted, unlucky hair of twisted bones. Their bones are twisted, not normal like us, reciting a father's snarl disease. They were not reciting the father's snarl disease, but here what the poet says that these children had inherited some sort of disease from their father. Certain disease people do get in heredity. So these children sitting here in the slum classroom, they are having some disease in heredity. They were not reciting the father's disease, but in fact, the poetic expression, poetic device is used here. That reciting word is taken further. Actually, they were reciting his lessons from his days. These children are reciting the lessons from their days. At the back of a dim class, one unnoted, sweet, and young boy was also sitting there. Means up to now, the characters we came to know, they are in pathetic condition. First of all, we read about one tall girl. Means that tall girl is not feeling well. She was having some sort of problem, and as a result she was putting her head down. Then the second boy, he looked like a paper swimming boy with rat's eyes. That means he was extremely thin and lean. Another boys who were sitting there, they were in some sort of deformed shape. But here, other than that, there was one sweet and young boy was also sitting there. The sweet and young boy attending the class, but he was uh, lost in his dream. He was physically present in the class, but was thinking about the outside world of the class. His eyes live in a dream. Sometimes this happens with us also. When you are watching this video, some of you paying attention in something else, maybe not focusing here. Means your thinking might be about something else. Sometimes you sit physically in the classroom but the thinking about something else. So here the boy is here, but he is thinking about squirrel games in tree room. Other than this, we play many games as kids, hide and seek is quite famous. Other local games are also there. As children we play, uh, we often play the game chore and police, but here they the children were playing squirrel games. So when the school gets over, whenever they get a free time, they used to play squirrel games, enacting the role of a squirrel and hiding behind a tree. Such a game. The boy was very playful, and this sweet and young boy wanted to play the squirrel game. So he is physically there but mentally somewhere else. So this is the first stanza. Dear students, I know that till now you have gone through some short poems, very easy to understand, but here you will find some of the expressions which are very difficult to comprehend with. But anyway, since this is a part and parcel of our study, you got to learn this one. Let us have a quick revision about whatever we have done till now. We discuss about the poet, that he especially wrote about the class inequalities and social injustice. Then we discuss some of the important words. And now, just now we have discussed about the first stanza of the poem. The first stanza of the poem picturizes very pathetic condition of the children. They are compared with the rootless weeds because their foundation is not strong. Their parents are not that much strong to look after them properly. Then there is a tall girl sitting but her head down. There was a paper swimming boy. The children, most of the children, they were having some sort of problem. And one boy was sitting, sweet and young, uh, in a very dim class. He was thinking about the squirrel game. So today we could finish only the first stanza. Second stanza, third stanza, and rest other discussion we shall do in the next video. Hope whatever is being taught today, you will understand it. Even if you don't understand, don't worry about it, because we will do the revision when we will come into the next video. Till then, it's goodbye from me. Have a good time ahead.